Right now, you're sharing this moment with something that isn't alive. It can read these words. It can answer questions. It can even help write stories like this one. But here's the strange part. It has no idea what any of them mean. So how did we get here? How did lifeless matter become something that can solve problems, write poems, design machines, and ask questions about itself? To answer that, we have to travel back almost 4.5 billion years. Imagine the Earth before life. No forests, no animals, no birds, no people, only oceans, rocks, volcanoes, and chemistry. The planet wasn't dead, it was simply waiting. Then something extraordinary happened. Somewhere in those ancient oceans, a tiny collection of molecules began making copies of itself. No plan, no designer, no instructions written in a book. Just chemistry, doing something it had never done before. That single moment changed everything. Every tree you've ever seen, every dinosaur, every whale, every human, and even you, are part of the same unbroken chain that began almost 4 billion years ago. For billions of years, life followed one simple rule: survive, adapt, pass the information forward. And then, something happened that had never happened before. About 300,000 years ago, something changed again. One species developed a brain unlike anything the planet had seen before. Not the biggest, not the fastest, but the best at one extraordinary thing: learning and teaching others. Think about that for a moment. A wolf has to learn almost everything on its own, but a human child inherits thousands of years of knowledge before taking the first real step into the world. Stories, language, tools, ideas, every generation starts where the last one finished. That's why civilizations exist. Knowledge doesn't disappear when one person dies. It survives, it grows, it compounds. Like interest in a bank account, except the currency is ideas. For hundreds of thousands of years, that was the most advanced intelligence in existence. Nothing else even came close. Then, in 2017, 8 researchers published a paper with an unusually simple title: "Attention is all you need." Almost nobody noticed. History did. The idea looked almost too simple. Instead of teaching a machine endless rules, teach it what deserves attention, which words belong together, which ideas depend on each other, how meaning flows through a sentence. It was a different way of thinking about intelligence itself. Nobody knew it yet, but that paper was about to change the future. And what happened next surprised even the people who created it. At first, these systems seemed almost ordinary. They completed sentences, answered questions, translated languages. Useful, but predictable. Then something unexpected happened. As the models became larger, they began solving problems they had never been taught to solve. They translated languages with almost no direct examples. They explained scientific ideas. They wrote computer code. Some even started passing professional exams. Researchers gave this phenomenon a name: emergent abilities. Capabilities that seemed to appear instead of being programmed, almost like discovering a new ability instead of building one. And that raised an uncomfortable question. If nobody deliberately built these abilities, where did they come from? Even today, researchers still don't have a complete answer. There's an entire scientific field dedicated to opening this black box. It's called AI interpretability. Its goal is surprisingly simple: understand how these systems actually arrive at their answers. Here's the strange part. The people building these models often understand how to train them better than they understand every decision happening inside them. Imagine building an engine. That works brilliantly, yet still discovering new parts of it after you've already started driving the car. Then came a moment that made headlines around the world. In 2023, a lawyer used an AI assistant while preparing legal documents. Everything looked convincing: every citation, every case, every detail. There was only one problem: none of the legal cases existed. The model hadn't lied. It hadn't tried to deceive anyone. It had simply done what it was designed to do: predict the most likely next words, even when reality couldn't support them. Researchers call this hallucination, a confident answer, without reliable evidence behind it. And that leads to a question far bigger than artificial intelligence. If something sounds perfectly convincing, how do you know whether it's actually true? Now look around you. Not tomorrow, not 10 years from now, right now. Artificial intelligence isn't arriving. It's already here. Millions of people use it before breakfast. Students learn with it. Doctors use it to review medical images. Scientists search for new materials. Engineers write software faster. Businesses make decisions with its help every day. And here's something remarkable. Only a few years ago, many of these tasks seemed impossible. Today, they're becoming ordinary. Think about this. Your smartphone can perform billions of calculations every second. It carries more computing power than the computers that guided Apollo 11 to the moon. And for most of us, that's completely normal. Technology has a strange habit. The impossible slowly becomes expected. Then, it becomes invisible. Electricity, the internet, GPS, smartphones. Every revolution eventually feels ordinary. So here's a question. If a technology changes the way billions of people learn, work, create, and solve problems, is it still just another tool, or is it becoming something more? And that brings us to the biggest question of all. Not what can AI do? We've already seen the answer. The real question is, what happens next? For almost 4.5 billion years, every form of intelligence on Earth shared one thing. It was alive. Every brain, every thought, every dream belonged to biology. Then, for the first time, intelligence appeared without a heartbeat, without DNA, without millions of years of evolution, not because nature created it, but because nature created us. Think about how incredible that really is. The atoms inside your body were forged inside ancient stars, billions of years before Earth even existed. Those same atoms became oceans, mountains, plants, animals, people, and eventually they built machines that can process language in a way. The universe has spent billions of years learning to understand itself, first through life, then through people, and now through the tools people create. Will machines ever think exactly like us? Maybe, maybe not. Right now, nobody honestly knows. And that's exactly what makes this moment in history so extraordinary. Because this story was never really about machines. It was about us, about curiosity, about discovery, about one species trying to understand what intelligence really is. Maybe one day we'll finally have the answer. But today, we're still writing the first chapter, and perhaps the most fascinating discoveries are still waiting for us. But that's a story for another time.